Our entire team lined up outside Marine One with the President and First Lady just about to make their way on board, followed shortly by their Secret Service detail. Alright, with them both on board, doors should be closing any moment. We're going to go and move away as they start up the engines. But this begins, well, a weekend of us on standby as the President and First Lady enjoy their weekend at their resort on the mountaintop. Ground crew vehicles just moving around, and that is the President up in the air. President and First Lady up into the air and off to their resort. For us, we are essentially on standby for the next, basically, weekend. Whilst they're up at the resort, there's essentially a no-fly zone for around a 10-mile radius around their resort. We've got a couple of F-18s lined up and waiting over there. We've also got some cargo planes, stratotanker over here. So we're on standby whilst they are up at their resort enjoying their weekend. And if there's any threats, any incidents, anything we need to respond to, we will be the first ones to move in. But for now, we're just going to go and take our place up in the tower, get some good views of this thing, and just check out the radar. All right, let's go and take a quick seat here and take a look. So you can see them on the radar as Raider 7145. That's just, I guess, the default call sign that they were given and appears on the radar here. You can just see them just over the top of that hill there, and they'll be landing at the resort soon. In the meantime, all of our jets being prepared essentially need to be ready to go within a moment's notice. And just have our controller here checking the tower, so I will leave them be. I will not disturb them much longer. All right, so yeah, meanwhile, preparations going on down here, making sure they're all refueled. Need to be up within a moment's notice, but for now, all looks good here, so we'll just head over to our jet. How are we all doing over here? 4 F-18s need to be ready to go up, and we'll be going up in pairs if there is an incident here. So they're all fueled. Okay, we are in this one. Got it. Understood. So yeah, first two will head up, and then we'll head up, or we'll follow them out within a few moments there. Perfect. All good. All right. Well, looks like they've, yeah, I can't see them anymore. Must have passed over the top of that mountain there. So they'll probably be landing at the base anytime soon. We'll keep an eye on the radio for any communications, but all looks clear for now. So we're hoping obviously to not be needed, because when we are, something's obviously gone wrong. But there's a tanker just heading up into the air now. C-17 taxiing, as well as the stratotanker over there, going onto the runway. We're just going to head up to the tower and watch over as both of these take off and provide support in the air. Stratotanker takes to the runway first, and they're just going to get a rolling start there. You've got the C-17 just parked to the end of the taxiway. We'll be following them up shortly after and pitching up. So they're going to be circling the air, and if we do need to be scrambled, then they will be there to provide immediate resources as soon as we get up. Making a nice steep climb. So we're going to head into the classroom here, just go over a couple of documents, whilst looks like, okay, they finished fueling the F-18, so that's good. All on schedule here, back at base. Alright, I've been listening to the radio for the past few minutes, and it seems things are escalating. They've been talking about scrambling the jets. No alarms have been sounded yet, but it does seem like a credible enough threat for them to already begin mobilizing vehicles. Okay, E3 Sentry's heading up first. They're going to make their way up and actually try and identify the aircraft. We're going to head up in the fight jets behind them. So the first two are making their way over now. We're going to go hop in ours. We'll be the last out of the crew. Sorry about the delay. I'm here. All right, let's take our seat there. We'll go and close the canopy. Thank you. Okay, right. Let's go and get the engine fired up and start moving here. Right, let's get controls. We're good. Okay, right. First jet's in there. Second and third are moving onto the runway now. Nice and slow. All right, so E3 Sentry is in the air. They've just reported that their radar is alive. We've been relayed very basic information, but I assume as both air and ground reconnaissance vehicles gather more intel, then that'll be relayed over the radio, so we're going to keep an eye out for that. Unresponsive aircraft, intercept as soon as possible. That's the latest message we've just gotten. Okay, right, let's just go and wait here. That'll be the third F-18 and the first in our pair, making its way up into there now. All right, and we're good to make our way onto the runway now. All right, form at 430 knots. Just nearly got that wrong. All right, 430 knots. Got it. All right, engines are up there. Restricted airspace. Fight jets have been deployed to position. Turn around now. We will use authorized force. All right, we're up in the air. We are up in the air. Let's go and gear up. All right, and we're up. We're up. So let's go and rendezvous with the other jets in the air. It looks like the E3 Sentry is relaying back information to ground. Unrestricted climbs are always approved in these sort of situations, so we're up to nearly 2,000 feet already, and we'll continue to climb as we head over the mountain range here. As we get closer, we're, well, hoping for more information from the E3. I presume they're still trying to get in contact with the aircraft. Ideally need to know the make and model of the aircraft, how many occupants are on board, and, well, what their intentions are. So we're just forming up on their left wing, behind the left wing now. You can see the President's Resort is just on that mountain top over there, and E3 Sentry's in there as well. We're just trying to identify the aircraft, which I believe is directly in front of us over there. Thought I could see its lights. Yeah, it looks like it's over there, so it's on the opposite side of the resort from us right now. Let's just go and stay on the left wing here. Yeah, that looks like it. So it's flying quite high, actually. Good few thousand feet in there, a bit higher than us, actually, for our cruising altitude right now. Looks like they're still trying to get in communication with them. Propeller aircraft, from what we can tell there. No contact has been established. It is that up there. Yeah, you can see the two jets at the front following up. We're going to go ahead and follow up with them as well. It seems like the aircraft is circling the resort. Now, for all we know, they could be attempting an emergency landing, but since we haven't been able to establish communications, there's absolutely no way to verify that. Now, ultimately, it is Command's decision. We're attempting to push them out of the airspace at the moment, basically just direct them. But if they do remain in the no-fly zone, it will have to be escalated. Heading around the mountain now, a couple hundred feet off the back, and it does look like they're going to be heading straight back towards the resort. With no communication, I do fear that we're going to have to engage in a matter of moments. Force has just been authorized by the ground. We are now able to engage. We're going to go and drop back and allow the other two to move in front and forwards. They will be carrying the air-to-air missiles. So it looks like they're just going to go right up onto the rear of the aircraft and fired and hit. They hit the left engine, and it is going down fast. They're going down quickly. Probably going to end up in the river if they don't crash into the side of the rock face down there. And already teams are being mobilized to be sent out and go and recover the aircraft so we can actually figure out what this was all about. Just flying back by the resort now, you can see Marine 1 sitting there. I'm guessing the President has been kept inside for the duration of this event, just as for safety precautions, really. I'd assume they have some sort of safe room or possibly even an underground bunker in there. But according to the information we received, there was only one aircraft in the air. So as far as we are aware, the airspace is now secured, and that was the only aircraft, in fact, that was breaching the no-fly zone. So we're going to go and circle around here. Looks like that's actually a helicopter now heading off to the crash site there. So already deployed a helicopter to go and recover the aircraft, or at least investigate it more. So we're going to go and circle around here. A couple of jets are landing, but airspace is pretty hectic now as everyone's coming back to base. Although I do believe the E3 and possibly one or two jets will be remaining in the air for safety precautions. So let's just go and circle around over the ocean here. Coming back into land now, quite an aggressive approach, I will say, mainly due to the mountains we have here. It's not a very straightforward approach to this landing. So let's just go and drop the speed there a bit. All right, we're looking pretty good here. We also got the sheer rock face there. All right, lift this a bit, and not bad at all, I will say. All right, so we are down. Make our way to the end of the runway, turn this around, and go and park up there. Haven't received anything else from ground or air control there. But yeah, very good shoot down from the jets, I will say. Got them in basically one shot. Airspace all of a sudden has cleared up. Look at the difference 10 minutes can make. So we're going to park up back here. All right, engines off. Let's go and get the canopy open there. Nice job. Again, it is very rare we have to deploy for an event like this. I think we've only had this happen once where we scrambled, and even in that scenario we didn't have to shoot down any aircraft. It was a very rare situation we were in, but it's good to know the President is safe. Haven't heard anything about them, but again, I presume they are just bunkered down somewhere on the resort just to remain safe. Hey guys, I just want to say, great job to you all. I think it was well executed. Unfortunately, we did have to shoot them down, but hopefully we can get some intel on what that was all about after the debrief. So yeah, go get cleaned up. Yeah, go attend your debrief. That's fine. I'll join you in a few moments there. And yeah, congrats on your first inception. That was really clean. Good job to you all. All right, I'll join you in a few minutes. All right, see you in a bit.